live on a Saturday.
Oh, we're live on a Saturday. Welcome to New Leaf News presents the Legends Clubhouse. You're correct. It is a Saturday morning. I am Bobby Kaboose, as always, here with my PIC. Saturday night or Saturday morning, Lawson. What's going on, man? Saturday night, Lawson.
We,
Do you dance on Saturday nights?
no, I don't dance on Saturday nights. However, not opposed to, not opposed to dancing on Saturday nights. Just don't. It's so funny because like when we do the shit Monday, it's Monday Night Law. On fucking Wednesday, it's hump day, whatever the fuck. And then on Friday, it's whatever. But however, coming from the man of a thousand nicknames, it's very interesting to see what you it's interesting to see what you come up with.
I mean, it could have been Saturday morning, Larson.
God damn it.
I forgot to start calling you Lars.
God, that shit was. When growing up, that shit used to piss me off so much that, dude, it like you are. Correct me if I'm wrong. The woman you're dating, she is not from here. She's Asian. She was
Yeah,
like in she was like
we're still not sure if he's a citizen, but yes.
my neighbor who used to call me that. In case you missed it, check the previous episode. She was like some old Vietnamese lady. She was probably in her 70s. She was all shriveled up. So like,
Shriveled up.
we we had talked a couple weeks ago, and you had made a joke that like, if if you are of Asian descent, you either you either look 500 years old or you look 20, and there's no in between.
Yeah, you get to that wizard status. It's like like have you ever seen the movie Friday After Next?
Yeah.
Mrs. Kim that lives next door? Yeah.
Right. No, though, but dude, it getting off the bus. Oh, hi, Larson. Like Jesus Christ, this shit used to piss me off as a kid.
Larson. Lars. Dude, you could have been named after Rocket Power. Fucking what's his name's older brother, right? Twister?
Right.
Was it Twister?
I think so.
What kind of
Yeah.
fucking name is that?
What's
That was a
even
weird show, man.
What's even more?
I
Oh,
I
continue.
actually kind of liked the show, but they were so fucking good at everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, these 10-year-olds aren't surfing and playing like
Doing kick flips, all kinds of
street
bullshit.
hockey and
Right. The what was the
all over doing parkour,
what was even more
and they're
funny
great at
is
everything
dude,
except the fat kid from the Midwest.
what was even more funny
Yeah.
is she had a cat. It was not an inside cat. Motherfucker was just running around, right? And then she
You're talking about rocket power stuff. I'm like, who the fuck had a cat that was running
no
around?
the whole lady that called me Larson, dude. She had a cat and she thought it was a boy cat, so she named it Georgia. And then after however long, because I don't know how you don't know if it's a boy or a girl when you get it, she found
Can't you see it's nothing penis? Like, I mean,
she found out that it was a girl and changed it to Georgette, and I'm like, how do you like what?
you said the original name was Georgia.
Yeah,
That's a woman's name anyway. Why would you have to change it?
I don't know, damn it. No, it wasn't my cat.
Man, I'm glad she called you Larson.
Mate,
She doesn't deserve. She doesn't. After that stupid ass comment, she didn't deserve to know your real name.
dude, for made no sense to me. And once again, I never saw that cat inside. Never. Cat was always just creeping around.
My buddy's got a cat that he's an outdoor cat, and he it's awesome because he'll Snapchat us the cat's kills. Like, he'll kill like a chipmunk and bring it up to the door, like to be like, hey, look what I did for you,
Bro.
This is how I honor you, the people that feed me.
Dude, growing up, it's funny because that same house that I lived next to, that lady, we had a couple cats. And they were inside outside cats. Bro, there was one time where like me and my sister, we'd go to get on the bus because we only went to the same school in elementary school, and so we'd go to get on the bus. We opened the front door, dude. There were like fucking 4 dead birds, a chipmunk, a squirrel, all kinds of shit. And I'm like, what murder scene happened on the front porch? Great way to start your day, kids. Fucking open the front door, and there's just a murder scene all over the front.
Fucking pet cemetery on your fucking porch,
dude. For fucking real, like there'd be a tail over here, just all kinds of like fucking feathers all over.
Mutilated too?
What?
It would just be mutilated too.
It would just be in bits, pieces, blood, you name it. It was all over the fucking front porch. They were just fucking destroyed, and I'm like, oh my god.
Maybe they were making chili or something that night.
Get a little bit of squirrel, a little bit of
Yeah, a
bird.
little rabbit.
Like, bro, you name it. It was just they were all over the fucking front porch, dude.
Dude, we hear the wilderness, and the wilderness hears us. Check out Yellow Jackets. Season 4 just got renewed.
I saw that on Twitter the other day, and I was like, "Hey, Mr. Caboose
I
likes
was
this
gonna write
show."
about that the other day, but like it was announced last week, and now I feel like it's too late. But I might still write on it. It's a good show. It's kind of I'm hoping season 4 is the last season,
Mm,
because it's kind of getting a little weird now. Like they're
right.
kind of stretching it out. They
Mm,
I think they could have really ended it in like 2 more episodes from season 3, but
mm,
originally it was supposed to be a 5 season series. Um, so they get renewed
yeah.
for the 4th. I hope there's not a 5th because it just seems like it's
It
going in a weird ass direction.
it's one of those shows where it feels like it could have been done. So like
Yeah,
a great example of that. One of my boys, what we would do is like we would swap each other's shows. So like we'd watch a show that I picked, he picked X Y Z, all that
yeah.
jazz. When we watched 13 Reasons Why, because he loved that shit when he was younger, when it was coming out. Out,
Was that like the suicide shit?
yeah. Welcome to
Why?
your tape. He said it was a fucking good show. I ain't never fucking seen it, and so I felt the same way. I was like, this shit could have ended after season one. And then one of the most. Go
Do
ahead.
they actually like commit suicide? Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, yeah, and what's even more funny, if you watch it now, they cut out, so like at the end of season one, you see Hannah Baker, the person that's leaving the tapes, you see her commit suicide. They had to take the scene out because genuinely showed her slitting her shit up with razors. And when we watched the show, my boy was like, "Oh hell no! I had to see it. You gotta see it." So he pulled the original scene up, and I'm like, "Oh my god! They showed the show on Netflix!" Like it genuinely shows her getting in the fucking tub, undoing a fucking razor and slitting her shit. And I'm like, "Oh my god, dude!"
So I'm guessing each season is about somebody else then, because they obviously she's dead after season 1.
She's the only one that commits suicide. All the next seasons are like what led up to it, XYZ backstory and all that shit. And I'm like, the bitch is dead now. So like, you could have been done
Who
after
cares about
season
who
one.
cares about the backstory?
Who cares about what else ever happened?
Right. I mean, you actually make a good point. Like, if I were to be writing that series, the suicide would be at the very end,
Yeah,
right?
that's it.
Obviously, and like, so you would like it would lead up to that, and you
Hmm.
wouldn't know if she's actually gonna do it or not, and then she ends up doing it.
Yeah,
But
my
and then maybe have one season after
yeah.
with people's reactions and shit
We
like that.
it was even more funny because whenever we will watch shows, I would just throw out crazy like bold predictions. I'm like, bold prediction, this bitch ain't even dead. She just moved away. And no, according to the fucking original fucking clip, it's very gruesome. Cause like it was so gruesome that I was genuinely like, at one point they showed this shit. It was fucking disgusting. Like
Yeah,
it shows her fucking digging up in there, and I'm like, yo, that's insane.
at one point, the high school that I went to was nationally known as like Suicide High. We had like the one of the years that my sister's 4 years older than I am.
Right.
One of the years she was in there was like I think like 10 to 15 suicides or something.
Fuck.
And like it was like fucking crazy. And then every year I went there would be at least one or two, which was just weird, you know?
It's fucking
Um,
weird.
so there's this kid, he was in my best friend, he graduated a year after I did.
Mm.
And we became friends after like years after a couple years after high school. But anyway, um he he was at he was at or he like one day he stayed home from school because he was sick or whatever. Well, this kid in his class that had
Mm.
a similar name, he had the same first name and same last name initial,
Mm.
and their last names were similar, committed suicide when my buddy was, out sick for the day. So everyone was like, obviously like, crying and shit because of this kid or whatever. And my buddy shows up to school the next day, and a bunch of people like came up and hugged him and shit. And he's like, "What the fuck's going on?"
He
And
thought you
because
were
this was like
dead.
way before like Facebook and shit. So like,
Right.
you didn't know unless you were there. So well, not way before Facebook, a couple years before Facebook, but you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Um, but so yeah, they're like, "We thought you were dead," and all this shit. And he's like, "What?" So I'm like, "Wait a second." So he's telling me this shit, right? This story, and I go, "Wait." So like the very next day, everyone was like, "Well, fuck that other guy, as long as you're here." like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's kind of shitty.
Rest in piss, bozo. But you're
Right,
here.
dude. At least it wasn't you.
That's so funny.
Because like he was telling me like the kid that did it, like, not to say that, but I guess he didn't have many friends and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I'm like, dude, like, it's still sad just because of you, but you got the wrong guy mixed up, and then everyone's
That's
like,
fucked
oh
up.
well, what it is, what it is. I'm like, what?
Dude,
And
it's
he was like, well, they were still sad, but they were just glad it wasn't me.
that's fucking insane. I was gonna say because like
Uh,
a couple years after I graduated, I knew, well, like I wasn't cool with him, but I knew who he was, and I fucking once again, my mom was like, "Oh, did you see someone that you went to school with killed himself?" And I'm like, "What?" Because
mhm.
you don't, when I guess growing through like your teenage years, you don't think about that shit, and then it's like, oh
Yeah,
fuck, bro's just he's no longer with the living.
right.
Yeah, this shit's fucking nuts.
Last summer we were on our way home from my sister lives out in Jersey, so
Yeah.
we were on our way back from her house driving, and I'm scrolling the internet or whatever, Facebook,
Hmm.
and I see this kid I went to high school with, and I recognized the name, but then when I saw the picture I was like, oh, that's him, because he had something fucked up on his face, so like
Right.
I knew it was him, right? So and because he was a I think he was a Macedonian or Chaldean kid, and
Mm.
a lot of them have a lot of the similar last names and stuff. So I
Right.
or so I was just making sure that it was the kid that I went to high school with. Anyway, um, the dude, someone came to his apartment, fucking shot him like 7 times, and there was no witnesses, there was no forced entry, no nothing. So like
Yo,
basically they were
what?
like marking it up as like, what did this dude get into that like someone basically like fucking put a hit on him, or whatever, because like I said, that he willingly just
Yo,
let him in. And but yeah, there was like no witnesses,
that's
no one was
crazy.
talking about anything, like, and the dude
That's
like made
insane.
sure he was fucking dead. Like he had as many shots as like, to make sure the dude ain't moving after him. Like, Jesus Christ, man, what the fuck did you get into?
That's fucking
Anyway.
nuts. It's crazy though that the high school you went to was like referred to as like suicide high. That's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah, man.
Cause like
It's
the
like
the
somewhat nationally known. Like, I mean, I mean, if you would watch like the news or whatever
yeah.
at that point, I'm sure there was some story, because like, yeah, if you Google it, like, it will come up.
What the fuck was in the water to be making
I don't
people?
know, man.
Dude, I was gonna say, cause like it's not that we were known for it, but like we had a lot of fights, weed, and just drugs, stuff like that. Then
Hmm.
the in quotation the school scandal. So I went to the high school, the first one that I went to, from freshman year till like middle of my 11th grade year, right? I left a couple weeks later. It was on the fucking like the not I doubt national news, but it was on like the local news apparently, and it's also
Yeah.
crazy because it wasn't one of my fucking friends, but I knew someone who knew the bro and people that were doing it. They were going to the bathroom, climbing in the fucking ceiling, and like peeping on girls in the bathroom. I'm like, yo, that is
Dude, what
fucking
the fuck?
dude.
Jesus.
That was my reaction. I was like, yo, I mean, bro was kind of a nut, but like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't because when you're in school, they have like It's that like kind of hard silicone tile that you can just kind of lift
Yeah,
up. Yeah, I guess bros were just fucking climbing the fucking stalls and getting up in there, and I'm like, fucking nuts, dude.
dude. What the fuck? To what? Watch a fucking girl piss her shit? Like,
I
dude.
that's
Fuck.
that was what the rumor was going on because then
Ugh.
after it was on the news, I got a couple times. I'm like, hey yo, did you all see whatever the fuck bro was getting into? And I was like, thank God I got the fuck out of there, man.
You switched high schools like with a year and a half left?
It wasn't by choice. We moved.
Dude, that must have sucked.
It wasn't fun.
Like, that's like the worst time to fucking like nobody, dude.
Dude,
Like,
for fucking real. But me
did
being
you move, like how far away did you move? Like, were you still able to see like your old
yeah,
friends?
yeah, like I still saw my clique, but it was just like we were already on like the edge of a school zone, and we moved like a couple
Mhm.
minutes down the road, and then it was in the other one. I was like, son of a, I'm like, you could just like drive me to fucking to be with my clique, dog.
Right.
But
That's man.
dude, it
You were
was.
yeah. Then you were probably like the loser in the last year and a half of your
Dude,
life.
dude,
In school life.
literally the last year and a half, I just grabbed the closest dude that I was the literally the first fucker that I was like, oh, hey bro, what's up? I'm like, all right, I just met my new daily best friend, and then fucking everyone fucking got word of me because every, for whatever reason, no matter what fucking class, whatever, everyone just fucked with me just because I don't fucking know. I was the smart kid that's passing out answers in the back because I don't give a shit. I'm just here to kill time and learn.
We we all know you were the loser
Hey
in the
man,
last year and a half that no one talked to, and you were like like with your books, like down hall. Look at me! No!
don't look at me!
No!
Don't look
Don't touch my things!
at me! Nah, no, but
Like you have like
yep,
5 or 6 books like out to here and a backpack, and you're like,
dude. Dude, it was even more funny because it actually wasn't the first time that had in quotations happened. So for elementary school, I went from fucking kindergarten till like fucking third grade, and then from fourth grade, I went to another elementary school, right? Because once again, moved, and then it's even more funny because then the middle school that I went to, I had boys from both elementary schools. Fucking, their mixing pot was that middle school. So fucking bro, I knew like everybody. And it was just like, damn, dude. Yeah.
Lawson is the most popular guy, and then he's the most popular guy in the school from like 6th grade to halfway through 11th, and then he
And
turns
then
into a huge loser.
dude, I'll never forget. There was one time I was in seventh grade. I'll never forget when my mom did this shit. And I didn't get my own fucking phone until I was in high school.
Hmm.
Some of you youngins are fucking 12 with iPhone 28s. Fuck off, don't care. And so my boy called my mom and was like, "Hey, is Lawson gonna be at school?" And she said, "Oh, I just dropped him off. And when you see that fucker, tell him I'm pissed." And I got all this I got all this when I got home because once again I didn't have no phone, no one talked to
Hmm.
me. Um, my mom told my boy, if you see that fucker, tell him I'm pissed. Because he knows to fucking refill up the car with gas when he takes those strippers home at 3 a.m. And once again, I don't fucking know what's going on. So
Right.
it was if you. I'm sure you know this. If you arrive to school early, you find your clique. You all just stand around, fucking just talk shit, whatever.
Yeah.
So me and my clique, we're all standing in a fucking circle, and all I hear is fucking footsteps, blah, 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 fucking sprinting down the hall, and fucking bro just stops, texting us. He's like, "Hey, so what'd you do yesterday?" I don't know, fucking homework and video game. Like when went outside, I don't fucking know. And they're like, uh huh. And then for like the next 2 months, it was after school. Lawson's partying with strippers and taking them home at 3 a.m. And fucking dude, I had a random people walk down the halls dapping me up. Fucking just randomly giving me their number, be like, "Hey, dude, hit me up after school." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then I get home that day when my mom started this shit. I get home that day, and I knew something was up immediately. First question: So how was your day? What did you do? what did you do? And so she starts fucking dying laughing. Then I get the whole story of what she said, and I'm like,
Your mom started a rumor about you?
on completely on accident, because she told my boy
Uh,
fucking went crazy with it. So yeah, for about 2 months after middle school, Lawson's out here partying with strippers till 3 a.m.
yeah, that's crazy that like your parents must have hated you, man.
Dude,
For moving twice during your school career, your mom making up rumors. Like imagine like I told you the story about Bro Job, right?
the
Imagine if Bro Job's
hold
mom
on.
fucking was like
Now
spreading that rumor.
the audience doesn't know about Bro Job. So you're gonna have to enlighten.
All right, so the legend of Bro Job. Basically we used to have these block parties on my street, right, when we were kids, and like in my neighborhood, like or at least even on my street, there was like close to 10 boys that were all kind of in the same age. So we always had like people like to like get people for like football or whatever we were gonna do. So um we had these block parties, and a lot of the kids didn't really hang out with each other unless we were playing like sports. Like we had like a lot of like little cliques on our street,
Mm,
of like two or three people that would hang out with each other, whatever.
mm,
So my old neighbor, we're playing like some kind of tag or some shit, and we're all sitting on the curb because we're out and we're waiting for the next game to start. So we're sitting on the curb, and my old neighbor, he was kind of a dick, and this is in junior high. So he was kind of fucking asshole. So he asked this fucking kid who's a younger brother of who becomes Bro Job. um he uh he asked this kid, he goes, like, just fucking with him, dude, completely fucking with him. He's like, do you and your brother ever do like sexual shit together? And he's like, and he was like, the first thing he said, he's like, well, we take showers together to save the hot water. And we're like, what? And we're like fucking like 13 at the time, so like 13, 14, and we're like, what the fuck? So and he goes, what else? And he keeps going into detail about this shit, dude, like about like how they play rock, paper, scissors, and the other one has to bro job the other one, and like all this other shit. And like we're like, what the fuck, dude? So like, yeah, the very next day he gets the nickname of Bro Job, and so that followed him from it was a summer going into 8th grade. So we weren't our high school started at 9th grade. So
mm.
from 8th grade until senior year or after seniors, he was known as Bro Job to a majority of the school. So we're in 8th grade, and his little brother is in 6th, going into, or no, he's going into, was he going into 6th grade? No, he was going, yeah, he's going into 6th grade, that summer that we knew. So fast forward, the end of 8th grade for me, they bring in the 6th graders to like tour the school, because my middle school was like only 7th and 8th. I know that's kind of weird, but
Mm.
it was only 7th, 8th grade. So they bring the 6th graders in to tour the school and try to make them like comfortable with it or whatever. At the end of the year, and so I'm in math, and
It would be math.
um, they're doing the tour, and this class comes in our class, and this girl in my class, she stands up, and she's like, hey, it's Bro Job's brother. And the whole class started cracking up, and she got sent down to the principal's office. But so like I can only imagine that the little kid, the younger brother, got that nickname probably as well after that. But yeah, I mean, at least their mom didn't come up with that, you
Dude,
know.
for real, because it was so funny. Because yeah, that joke probably went on for a good month and a half, 2 months of just, once again, me and my clique just hanging out, chilling,
Yeah,
random fucking, once again, I'm in 7th grade, 8th graders walking up, just dapping me up, and I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know you, bro.
right.
What's your spiel?
So So you did mention something when you were talking about that as far as cell phones. Like
Yeah,
you know, you said you got your first cell phone in high school, and so did I.
yeah,
When I was in high school, cell phones started becoming big. It was like,
mm,
obviously the flip phones and shit like that. But
right.
I got mine when for my 16th birthday. Um, this past episode, I don't even think it's released yet. As far as for the 64-bit Legends, Melvin and I had this discussion, and I kind of want to ask your opinion about it.
Yeah.
We were talking about how when we were in high school, we're glad that there was no social media, no smartphones, shit
Mm.
like that, because something like a bro job incident, not even if the majority of the school knows that your bro job, there might be some people that don't. Nowadays, if there's a bro job in your school, everyone's going to know about it because,
Right.
someone's going to film something or whatever,
Mm.
and that will never go away. Like at least, back in the day, you could have a class where you're like, oh, thank God no one knows I'm bro jobbing here. But
Right.
like, even if you change schools, it just takes one person to send something to the,
Mm.
and it blow up, or not even just finding it, right? So, um, I I think I brought it up, but we discussed, like, do you think in the future that they are going to set a minimum age similar to like alcohol and weed, where it's legal, gambling, cigarettes, that you have to be a certain age to get a cell phone?
That's a good question. For a cell phone, I think no. For social media or something, I think that's different.
Well,
Be
yeah, they started doing that for social media already. Like on
yeah.
some platforms, you have to be 18.
Hmm. With That's a really good question because, like, just like you, I got my first phone for my 16th birthday, and
Hmm.
then, I've, now know, like, some of my younger cousins and stuff. They're fucking, like, 10, 11, and they got little iPads and phones and stuff like that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and then, my sister's younger than me, so she some of the people that we grew up with, they're just just younger than us, and so
Hmm.
like they're fucking like 13, 14, and they have phones and stuff like that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I would have been a badass little kid, dude, if you get a phone at 13, 14, especially now, because when you brought up that, like, it just takes one clip to go viral now and stuff like that, to
Hmm.
where back then, and even I caught the tail end of it, because we weren't really phoning or videoing everything until like right after I got out of high school. So like
Yeah.
I caught the tail end of it, but just like you said, to where, oh, if one video of bro job got anywhere and it goes semi-viral, bro might have killed himself. Bro, just probably
Right.
for real, dude. Cause like, yes, what was a joke then can be completely changed and turned into like some could spiral out of control today.
Right. Because
So
like I mean, you got memes, people make it
memes
into GIFs, like,
get right.
all the social media. So what I was thinking that it could eventually do, and I think this might happen, especially if it gets bad enough,
Hmm.
especially with the, I hate to say like the school shootings and stuff like that, but that's probably got some stuff to do with it as far as kids being bullied and shit like that.
Right.
Um, I do think eventually you may not be able to get a phone until you're 18. And um, if I think how like kids have like their version of iPads, like they're very kid like friendly. They're not. It's not an iPad. It's
Yeah, it's like a
something
tablet.
like
Yeah.
yeah, yes, thank
Hmm.
you. It's kid tablets that you can only access certain apps, certain things.
Right.
I think that might be going forward.
Hmm.
Not obviously right now, but I think in the future, that might be a thing where, if you're under 18, you can only have this certain phone or whatever,
And the
and
phone
it
is,
doesn't access everything. It
yeah.
like it can't get to social media. It can't do it's basically to make calls and text, a certain contact list or something,
Hmm.
because um
I can see that.
kind of how it used to be, because like I said, like one thing, one bad thing, one embarrassing moment could ruin. Anyway, because like I know I did shit, embarrassing shit in high school, and there's no record of it. Like it, like
Yeah.
literally, like it would disappear in like 2 or 3 weeks, and just be like, okay, that's,
That
even like, even if you got your ass beat in a fight, like you'd show up, for a week with a black eye, and then a month later, people would forget about you getting your ass beat. Like
yeah, as opposed to now, like, cause I going back to the recording everything, I remember in high school one of my boys, cause we're tall, he was not blessed like that. He was real short, and the selfie stick had just came out.
oh.
So let me get there. So you know what happens at a high school fight? Dudes start fighting. Everyone fucking builds a fucking wall circle around them. One of my boy puts his phone on a selfie stick and just holds it up to record the fucking fight. And I fucking see him pulling his shit out of his backpack. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He said, I'm about to record this bitch. He just pulls his phone on his selfie stick, holds it up over everyone to record. I'm like, yo, are we fucking for real?
Dude, that's like half my algorithm on Twitter, like, or X, like, is just
Fight
school fights,
videos.
like
Fights at a
parking lot, like,
mall, in the
yeah.
street. Dude, for
I'm like,
real.
dude. So, what one of the reasons that this whole thing came up was, there was a video that, and usually, like, there's a lot of them that are old and get recycled and shit, and I'm like, okay, I've seen this, for a while now. This one was new. I've never seen this video, and it's kind of fucked up. It's so there's a kid bullying this other kid. The kid that's getting bullied, his dad shows up to the school, confronts the bully, and kind of like doesn't shove him against the wall, but he kind of like uses his
Mushes him.
belly,
Yeah.
yeah, to get, which still, it's kind of a weird subject because
It's
like
like,
you're literally going after a kid, but
right.
each their own. Well, while he's doing this, another kid comes up behind the dad and fucking pantses him to where he's fucking poo bearing, dude. Like he has got no underwear on. Like you see his bare ass, and like I'm like, okay, first of all, now you got this motherfucker on video, someone exposing himself. Like, I mean, you could chop that up, and do, you could just take a screenshot of that and ruin this motherfucker's life, right?
Right.
You could, he's, now his kid is even more embarrassed, right? So now he's even gonna get more picked on. And imagine if, like, his dad is, unfortunately not well endowed, dude. Like, people saw his penis, sorry. So now you could be like, oh, you're the son of the small penis, right? Like, I just watched Problem Child with my girlfriend last week, and he's at bat, and they're chanting "son of dork." Like,
Dude, for real.
now this kid can be painted like, son of Peter.
God forbid, God forbid PE's the same where you gotta go dress out in the locker room. Motherfucker's gonna be pants in it.
Right, dude. But like shit like that, man. Like it's crazy on what it can be eliminated from, because like, dude, you think this kid, and by the way, the kid's like definitely fucking ballsy for going to fucking pants an adult. But the fucking thing,
You better pray bro ain't got a belt on.
right? Well, he was wearing basketball shorts. Like, I'm like, I wear basketball shorts like all the time.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm also not a parent, and even if I probably was, I'm just that guy. I just want to be comfortable. Right. But so I'm not throwing shade, but this dude, do you think there's no way in fucking hell that this would happen if there was not an opportunity to fucking record it? Like, if this was just like, regular, like, 10, 20 years ago, no one's getting pants because no one's fucking recording it.
Someone, like, example, you underestimate how badass these old kids are. Like, I'm sure there was a clip like, hey, bro, you know what'd be funny? Watch this.
Right? No, 100%, dude. 100%.
Hey, pull your phone out. Check this out.
Yeah.
Dude,
100%, dude.
So funny. Going to like the social media thing, I saw a TikTok the other day, and it went semi-viral. It's got a couple million likes, and I'm sure way more views and stuff like that. Where it was this younger kid, or well, not younger kid, probably more around my age. Apparently, his little nephew was getting bullied like on his
Hmm.
block, and I guess the some kid threatened, "Oh, I'm gonna go get a gun and shoot you," and I'm like, "We don't play those fucking games." So
Dude.
he went and told his uncle. His uncle came out shirtless and was like, "Y'all need to go find y'all parents, cause I'm finna make my nephew whoop y'all ass if y'all don't go get y'all parents." And the parents come out, and he's like, and the it's the prototypical my son wouldn't do that. He's like, oh
Yeah.
really? And then he's like, because I was finna have all these little badass little kids jump your fucking kid, so I'll fucking handle it. And he's like, oh, we'll handle it. He's like, handle it right now. And then it got into it, and he was like, I suggest you leave. And I'm like, because if you don't fucking do it, I'll do it. Discipline your fucking kids, and then it just gets a little heated discussion. But it's just so funny because like the amount of wild shit that kids just say now. Like you
Right.
wouldn't think of, I'm gonna get a gun and shoot you. Like, yo, what?
Right.
Like,
Right. Yeah.
like,
Like back in the day, it'd just be like, yo, I'm gonna beat your ass.
dude, I was talking about this with some friends earlier because once again, how not dehumanized social media is, but the fact that you can scroll down and just mass murder, killings, all this shit on Twitter,
Oh,
like,
dude, the internet desensitizes you to everything, man. Like
dude,
it's like, you know,
100%.
everything, whether it's violence, sex, anything. Like it just desensitizes you to everything because it's everywhere.
Dude, for
Like
real.
you
And
know,
so like, I was talking to my boys, and because we'll make jokes like, oh, I'll beat your ass, and the old head of the group's like, man, I'm just gonna bust the cap of your ass 'cause I'm too old to be fighting. And we'll
mm,
just make jokes shit like that, and it's like no one can just take a ass whooping and go move
right.
forward with it no more.
Well, that's what
Like
I'm saying. Because
back in your day and even in my day, it's like, dude, if we have a disagreement, let's go outside and then we can be cool and friends afterwards.
but well, we're not gonna be cool and friends afterwards. But
But you get the
because
spiel.
right, but like a fist fight between your friends should never happen, right? Like,
Right.
or for the most part, I feel like once you get, I don't think I've ever gotten a actual fist fight
With one of your
with
boys.
one of my boys, and was like, okay, we had to fucking actually fight it out. I mean, don't get me wrong, me and my friends fucking boxed in the backyard with
Yeah.
gloves and shit, and just, beat the shit out of each other that way. But we had
Yeah.
gloves and shit. We're not fucking trying to murder each other.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever gotten a fight with a kid that I was like, oh yeah, let's hang out tomorrow. Like, um,
No,
but.
by be
But
cool
no,
afterwards, I mean, like
the
go
thing
art.
is,
Yeah.
like, no one wants to take an ass beating in this nowadays because, again, going back to
It'll hang over your
it's gonna be on camera.
dude, and it will hang over your fucking head. So once again, bro
Yep.
probably does some unhumanly shit, and
Right.
I'm right there with you. Which that's probably like one of the reasons why you brought up that sometimes school shooting happens, and I'm pro bully. Well, not pro bully, but like someone you
I love bullies. I'm pro bully. Hell yeah.
someone's
Bully.
growing up having your first
I'm
bully.
that
Bro, growing up having your first bully, you gotta like that'll thicken your skin, or you have to have some kind of not opposition, but you gotta like have some kind of conflict growing up to where if you take anything anybody says too literal, it's like, well, what happens when you get told no for the first time and you just tweak the fuck out, or where someone's just like, dude, I don't fucking like you, dude. And it's like, you don't like me? Like, dude, for real.
I feel like so like I wouldn't say I was a bully, right? But like I think everyone kind of picks on everyone, right?
Dude, for
There's
real.
always people that you pick on, right? I I had a rule. I had bully ethics, right? Um like
Bullynomics.
yeah, bullynomics, dude, whatever you want to call it. Like you don't pick on somebody for their physical appearance,
Right.
like something that they can't control,
Right.
or if they're like if you could tell their home life is not
Shitty.
satisfactory, whatever. Yeah, well, however you want to put it. Like, obviously, like kids can't fucking control how much their parents make
Yeah,
shit like that. So
yeah.
it's usually the kids that fucking bring it on themselves that are fucking like Bro Job. Bro Job, for example, was a smart kid. He was fucking arrogant, but he was like, "Oh, I'm smarter than everyone," blah blah blah, because he got good grades. And I'm like, dude, like, and then he thought he was athletic, and just he would talk a lot of shit and then like just get destroyed. Like we actually in high school, dude, like it wasn't my class, but like the class in general, like the 11th grade class or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
whoever had gym class, um so it wasn't my hour, I'll say. Um Got fucking dodgeball banned because everyone threw the ball at fucking Bro Job. Like it's just like, and then he opens his mouth, talks shit, and then like you're like, all right, dude, like here's the consequences. Like don't
That's
talk
so
shit when you
funny.
can't back it up.
I, I
Um,
I saw going to dodgeball. I saw somewhere that dodgeball's actually been rolled out in a bunch of states, and I'm like, oh
yeah,
my
probably.
god, that pissed me off. Because I remember like we would be so amped up for dodgeball, regardless what grade I was. It's even more
Hmm.
funny because in middle school we had like a dodgeball tournament. So like for
Yeah.
like $5, you and four other people could enter, and it was after school, and it was every grade, and that there was a teachers team, and
Hmm.
it all went to charity and stuff like that, like all the concessions that they sold and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And dude, I remember fucking you were ready for that dodgeball tournament once a year, dude. Everyone was
Right.
fucking ready for it. Like I don't think we even think about it now because like you could go to anybody that's our age or maybe a little bit older. If you go to like a random club or something, you're like, hey, we finna put these tables on their side and we all finna play dodgeball. Everyone's fucking lit because that was an
Well,
experience.
I mean, especially with that documentary on dodgeball that came out. I mean, it was huge, right?
Yeah,
So the one I'm talking about, right?
the one that came out. There was one that came out a couple years ago. Are you talking about that one?
The one with Ben Stiller,
Yeah,
right? He's narrating the documentary
yeah,
based off of true events,
yeah.
so if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, right?
Makes sense to
So
me.
like, why aren't we could just be throwing wrenches at these fucking kids, and they're getting off lucky with just the kickball, right? So,
With the
but
kickball.
yeah, the beating of Bro Job in dodgeball, banned it from our class.
Bro came home with welts. Hold, hold
Dude,
on.
this kid,
I
okay, so the neighbor kid that ended up, or not, I don't even know if it was the neighbor kid. Never mind, it wasn't him because we just saw it on the bus.
mm,
So, there's a couple things that happened on the bus with Bro Job, right? So,
I can
um,
only imagine.
dude, this kid, and like it wasn't like I did this shit. Like I was a innocent bystander. I was a supporter of just Bro Job's. He wasn't a likable person, dude. Like I
Right.
said, like he was a very arrogant kid for no reason, and like he just like there was just something about him. He had a punchable face. You ever meet somebody with a punchable face? Like you just want to
100%.
deck
Yeah.
them, right? So he he had on the bus. We were sitting behind him, and we noticed, we're like, what is that on his neck? And on the back of his neck, he had the word "fuck" like that big, dude, on the back of his neck in pen, not marker, not to a point where you could like kind of like do it very lightly and maybe he doesn't feel it. You had like to fucking go
Someone.
on your skin with pen. You had to fucking press that motherfucker down. So whoever fucking wrote this in one of his classes on the back of his goddamn neck, either he didn't confront them and he was like, I'm just gonna sit here and act like nothing's going on, and I'll show him by taking the higher road and not standing up for myself, or he was a little bitch and let this motherfucker like write this on the back of his neck.
He's walking down the
Either
hall.
way, he didn't stand up for
He's
himself, and
walking
like
down the
I'm like,
hall.
okay,
Someone mushes him up against the wall. Listen here, bro, job. We're gonna
yeah.
write "fuck" on the back of your neck. He's just okay.
Jesus Christ, man! I would rather get punched in the fucking face than
Dude.
have someone do that to me.
Like, bro,
Yeah,
what?
like stand up for yourself, man. And so that happened, and then the asshole kid fucking that asked his brother about the shit. He one day on the bus, he tied his backpack to like the chair of the bus,
See?
and so when we got to our stop, he couldn't get his backpack untied, and he ended up getting off at the last stop and had to walk through the
That's
neighborhood
so
to get to his house.
funny.
But anyway,
That's
it
so
wasn't me.
funny.
It wasn't me.
Real quick
I
question,
mean,
do I assume when y'all played dodgeball, you also had the rubber balls?
what rubber balls?
Like when y'all played dodgeball, you also had like the rubber dodgeball.
Like the kickball ball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I caught the tail end of that, and I literally had the mix from the kickball ball to the foam balls.
There's foam balls?
Yeah, we played dodgeball with the kickball balls for like the first three for like up to like fourth grade, and then about midway through fourth grade, I guess for child safety, we went to foam balls.
Dude, you were in fourth grade in what, 2010?
No, I don't fucking remember.
Dude, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah,
You're
it
fucking young.
dude, it was the most like you want to talk like I remember also like as a kid I remember when we went from hard like at lunch from those hard trays to the styrofoam ones because
Yeah.
someone got in a fight and picked it up and smacked somebody with them. And then I remember when we went from metal forks to plastic because a couple kids were jabbing each other with them. And I'm like, we can't have nothing.
Dude, my brother is 9 years older than me, so
Yeah,
that makes him probably 60 years older than you. Um, so his class in junior high, his class was the last class to have metal shop, and it was his class was like really bad, like really bad. And so he graduated in 96.
yeah.
So um he his middle school, he was the last class to have metal shop, and kids were making fucking like Chinese stars and shit. And then like my brother every day he just took this stick and just sharpened it, and that's all he did, and like it was like a fucking spear. And
Bro's in class making spears.
yeah, and the teacher's like, oh, like he asked him, he's like, what are you making? He's like, oh, it's a fire poker. Fucking sharpen this stick every day. And dude, so for his final exam, you had to
Yeah.
make something. Dude, and I still remember this because he spray painted it green, and it used to be in his room. Actually, it's the very room that I'm sitting in right now. Um, he fucking made a crowbar for his final exam. Like, dude, this is unreal.
What did he get? What was the
Dudes are just straight making weapons like they're in 300, about to go to battle with another junior high.
This day we fight. You got one motherfucker in the corner making shields.
And it's funny, man. It's funny because our rival school, their
Fuck.
nickname was the Titans, so they could have did the whole fucking "Remember the Titans" speech. They will remember the Titans.
Dude, I remember in class we watched that movie. That was the first time I saw it in class, dude. That shit was so lit. The whole fucking class. He said, I don't want them to gain another yard. You blitz! Oh! Dude, one of my favorite scenes he said, if you fumble my football, you will run a mile.
Dude, I used to be able to do a very good Coach Yost impression. The They're not gonna gain another yard.
That's such a oh.
Oh, night. It
He said
used
if
to
they
be better
give
than this. I would have to watch the movie to get it down
he said if
again.
they gain a yard, I'll take every last one of you. Yeah. Yo, that's something we got to talk about, like goated sports movies.
Oh God,
Coach
dude!
Carter.
I just saw a clip of on Instagram. Have you ever seen the movie Above the Rim with Tupac?
No, I've heard that's an
Okay.
all-time classic movie though.
It's okay. Tupac is like people my age. Like Tupac is the most overrated
Right.
rapper. Like just like I compare him to like Lil Wayne, and people like are like, oh my god, they like go crazy on me. And the reason I say that is because he's got so much music, and same with Lil Wayne, that like 10% of it's good,
Yeah.
and the other 90% because he's got fucking 1,000 songs aren't great. His movies are okay. Um, he's got a handful of them. But anyway, Above the Rim, there's a clip where it's like I love in this movie where a player 51 throws a lob pass to himself, and he fucking like he inbounds it, right, and he throws it down the court, and then he catches it and fucking dunks it. And I'm like, I never noticed that in the movie, but like, there's the
So
clip.
funny. Yeah, there's so many like goated sports movies. Coach Carter. Yo, what's uh-huh.
You're like, what? He no, when fucking cousin Skeeter,
Yeah.
you know who cousin Skeeter is?
Mm.
From Nickelodeon. Do you know that show, or that was a little before your
I
time?
think that
But
was a
do you
little
know
bit
that?
before. I think it was before my time, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so it was the puppet, the
Yeah.
kid that played in it. He's Coach Carter's son in that movie.
Hmm.
He's like driving to the hole, and he does like this little dish, and he's like, his worm,
Yeah.
and he like,
Dude, it's so crazy now because like when you go back and see, because I think I said this in a previous episode, I'm terrible with actors' names, but if I see your
yeah,
face, if I see your face, I'll put you on something. Like I'll associate
yeah,
you with whatever character I see you in. It's crazy because
right.
like I watched Coach Carter a couple weeks ago, and once again banger movie, and I'll see some like the actors that were young then, and I'm like,
Hmm.
I saw you in an episode of whatever the fuck, and I'm like, yo, it's crazy.
Like Channing Tatum,
No, the kid that
like he's in that, right?
yeah, but the kid that he may do like a 10,000 push-ups for, and then he's like, I'll do push-ups for him, coach. Um, that kid that once again Coach Carter may do those 1,000 push-ups. He plays a main character in Law and Order Organized Crime, and when I went,
Oh, the Mexican kid.
yeah,
The
Rick
I
Gonzalez
was
is the name of the
making a
actor.
team, coach. I
Yeah,
was making a team. You saved my life, coach. Fuck
yeah,
out of here.
fucking Rick Gonzalez's name
Take
is
it, Jackson, get out of here.
Rick Gonzalez is the name of the actor, and it's so funny because when I rewatched the movie, I was like, wait a fucking minute, and I fucking pulled it up on my, dude, I fucking pulled it up on my phone. I'm like, yo, he grew up. I'll never forget one of the times I did the same thing. I saw an actor in one show that I saw him in another. I texted my boy. I said, "Yo, the actor that did this is in this." He said, "That's how fucking actors work, Lawson. You fucking dumbass." And I was like, "Fuck you, buddy."
You know, at the end of the Coach Carter when they play like the number one team in the state or
Yeah.
whatever, I think that kid that's supposed to be like their superstar. I think that's supposed to be Kevin Garnett.
Really?
I think so.
Hmm.
I think that I think that's like the time frame of when that movie
Came
took
out.
place. And I
Yeah.
think that's supposed to be him. I'm not. Don't quote me 100%.
Mm.
Now actually you could probably just ask ChatGPT or Grok
Or Siri.
and get the answer. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think that is supposed to be him. For some
Hmm.
reason, that's always stuck in my mind that it's supposed to be Kevin Garnett. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Real quick though, because it's so funny doing it at a different day at a different time. Like I looked over and I'm like, oh, it's 9:30, and then I'm like, oh, we're only 30 minutes in. I've been seeing a lot of clips on the Lilo and Stitch live action What's your take on
Yeah.
these live action adaptations?
Um, it depends on what it is. Like the Lion King, like that. I thought that was pretty good. The first one, I didn't see the second one. But the first one, I know people like were like, it's weird seeing animals without genitalia, and I was
What?
like, that is weird. Like, why would they purposely take that out? Like, I wouldn't even. I wouldn't have thought
Thought
any
about
different.
it, right?
I don't know. Like, but then since someone like said it,
Now you can't unsee
and
it.
yeah, exactly. So, some of them are good. I think with technology now, they can do much better, like renditions
Yeah.
of these either video games or animated stuff to bring it to life.
Hmm.
But I don't have a problem with it. Like, it is kind of weird to like you have to get used to it. Like even like the Lion King, I was like, this is weird.
Dude,
But you know, you
I watched the first like 10 minutes of the Lion King and cut it off. I'm like, this is too fucking weird for me, dude. Like that's such
it is
a
weird.
dude. Like for the
Weird.
like I said, dude, the first 10 minutes, I was like, this just feels dirty. Don't get off my screen. It just felt because like once
Like
again,
you're watching National Geographic or some shit.
dude, for real,
And they're
because like
talking
I remember as a kid popping the VHS and the fucking VCR and fucking watching it that way, and now I'm watching it like new and in HD like live action on my fucking phone. I'm like, this is just weird, dude.
Dude, so like, Wyatt, my dog,
Yeah,
he's my first pet, he's my first dog. And I keep like waiting for him to start talking because like, I watch either Family Guy or these
yeah,
movies like Homeward Bound and stuff, and they all talk, and I'm like just like I can't wait for Wyatt to say his first words. Like he's actually gonna do it.
dude.
And
It,
like
it's so funny because I'll talk to I'll tell my sister because her and her dog, they're like fucking this, dude. Damn near
mhm.
inseparable. And I said, what would you do if Roxy like just stood up on her back, like I said, and just started talking to you and said, you know what, you can go and tell the world, no one will believe you, and then just fucking just go back to being a normal dog.
Right, right.
Dude, for
Like it's like an alien or some shit.
dude, for real. And it's also funny because like my sister, she'll talk to her dog, and I'll make jokes. I'm like, she can't talk back, right? And she's like, yeah, but in my head she sounds like this. Cause so my sister has like an internal monologue of how Roxy would talk back to her, and
That's funny.
I'm like, hey, dude, whatever, they're fucking like this. So
That is funny.
yeah.
Yeah, we can if you want because we kind of got sidetracked on it. We can talk more about that because that Lilo and Stitch is doing like phenomenal numbers in the box office.
Oh,
Um,
the numbers have been fantastic. The clips that I've seen, I'm like, hell no, stay away from me, stay away from
dude,
me. Oh god, I'm almost too funny.
imagine like a Toy Story live
Hell
action.
no, hell no.
Imagine that, dude.
Shut
You
the
know how
fuck.
freaky that would be? They could make it into like a horror film.
Yeah, they could do like a
Like
Five
with
Nights
his
of
head
Freddy, but for
spinning,
Toy
like,
Story.
hey, Sid, don't fuck with your toys.
Yo, they really could make dude. Speaking of Toy Story, have you seen the picture when like it's Sid and then it's Derek Carr on the sideline with the fucking like with his scrunched up face? Dude, look up a
No.
side by side of Sid from Toy Story and Derek Carr on the sideline. It's one to
Oh
one. It's so
God.
funny. No, but
Um,
back to the live action stuff. Like I don't know. There's just certain adaptations where they change too much fundamentally. That it's like apparently, like you've seen the original Lilo and Stitch, right?
no. I had to look up to see which one was Stitch.
It's not the fucking girl, you melon.
I don't know.
No, but it like
Lilo doesn't sound like a name either.
shut up. They're on island time.
Oh, Lawson.
The dude. So the alien that makes Stitch, they changed his voice. He's not like goofy comedic no more. They took out one of like the
Is
main.
he evil? He's like, come here, Lilo. Let's
He
go to dinner.
he just sounds like a Russian scientist as opposed to like a fucking dork. Uh,
He sounds like Putin.
no. And then there's another giant alien named like Gantu or something. They completely took him out of the fucking movie, and he's like the main one at the end that fucking captures Stitch and Lilo at the end, and it's just like, yo, why are you changing fundamentally? That's one of my biggest things as to issues when like you want to make him as close to a 1-to-1 as possible for for the nostalgic factor of it, and when you change too much shit, it's like it's not even the same fucking movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same characters, storyline, but like when you take out antagonists or protagonists, it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh man. But a quick question, speaking of Sid, when you were a kid, did you do Sid type shit?
No,
You didn't like
break no
magnify
toys or
you didn't magnify any toys
ants
or
or
anything?
magnify ants outside or do
Did
any
you
of that
do that
shit.
type of shit?
No.
No, me either. So like it makes sense why I call my girlfriend Sid, and because she did, and she tortured her toys
Yo,
and took
what?
magnifying glass and burned GI Joes and ants. And then she claims she's not Angelica from the Rugrats either. She was a
do,
very, very bad child.
do you keep
And
looking to the side to see if she's finna huck something? You gotta
oh,
duck.
dude, she's giving me
The,
evil. Luckily, she can't actually see me because her glasses aren't on right now, and she doesn't have her contacts in. But she can see a big blur over here, and she's giving me the evil eye.
that's
But yeah,
so
she was
funny.
definitely Sid and Angelica because not only did she torture her toys, but she tortured her brother as well.
Oh
And it's
god.
just that stuff doesn't fly in this household. So now, she
It's
gets the
so
wrath.
funny. Now, for the last thing of the day, Nerfies,
Nerfies. Um,
because this has been a very sports heavy show.
Yes, it has. It's non-sports Saturday. So, I am currently 5-3. My uh hit on the 28th, whatever day that was, Wednesday, the Twins and Rays hit.
We're both five and
Today
three.
is May. You're 5-3 as well?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. I am gonna go, even though it scares me a little bit, I am gonna go with the Tigers Royals. Um both teams, or did both teams score in the first inning yesterday? I believe so. Yeah, I believe so because Riley Green hit a 2-run homer, and I had a Nerfy on them yesterday. He hit a 2-run homer, and then Bobby Witt hit a home run.
Mm.
So, I'm gonna take the odds that they don't score in, two first innings in a row. We got, the reigning, defending, Cy Young champion, Tarek Scoobs, as we like to call him, the Scooball. He's 5-2. He's got a 2.49 ERA, and he's got 92 strikeouts on the year. Um, he does have a tendency of, letting up early home runs. Hopefully, we're going to avoid that. He usually supplies the power if they can connect. So we're a little weary on that, but he should be able to make it through an inning without letting up a run. And on the other side for the Royals is Michael Waka Waka. He's 3-4 on the year, but he's got a 3.21 ERA and he's got 44 Ks on the year. So we're gonna go with Tigers Royals at a 4:10 Eastern start.
Give me, for mine, give me the St. Louis Cardinals and the Texas Rangers. Sonny Gray has been solid over his past two starts. He had a absolutely horrendous start three games ago against the Phillies. Other than that, he's been straight. He has a 5-1 record on the year, 4.06 ERA, and for the Rangers, Patrick Corbin, who I saw a crazy stat on Patrick Corbin the other day. Whenever Trump has been in office, he's been awesome, and when he's not, he's just been dog ass. So a lot of people are like, so a
He had
lot of
4 years of dog ass.
so a lot of people are like, weird. Um,
Yeah,
he has a
he
three
must
three.
be a mega.
He has a 3.3 ERA and a 3.7. He has a 3.3 record and a 3.375 ERA. I don't know why that was just a little bit of a tongue twister there. He's just always been either um really good or really bad. There's no in between. However, he has had success against the Cardinals, giving up a 235 batting average, That's 46 for 196 lifetime, 52 Ks, 3 home runs, and for Sonny Gray, a 232 batting average allowed against this Rangers lineup, 97 for 414, 93 Ks, 11 homers, and those are your Nerfies of the day.
And do we have basketball action this weekend?
We have basketball action tonight. Game 6 of the Knicks, do or die. They extended the series. Um, I love him as a player, but I hate Tyrese Halliburton, dude. I don't like him. He's a
Yeah.
he's a fucking
Who
ball.
you got tonight?
My head says, my gut and heart says Knicks. My head says the Pacers close it out, which is really weird too, because like the Knicks have been a better road team than home team. Which when the fuck does that ever happen?
Yeah.
However, I'll be rooting for the Knicks because Nick fans are rowdy, and Game 7 in the Garden would be insane to go back to the finals. It'd be insane.
So yeah, I think the Knicks will win tonight. They're going to Game 7 for Madison Square Garden. There's too much money to be made for Game 7 at Madison Square Garden. That's all I'm saying.
They need to send out the series extender, Scott Foster.
Yeah, exactly. And hockey, the Stanley Cup. I know it doesn't start until I think June 4th.
Yep, June 4th.
We have the Panthers and Oilers. Who you got in that series?
It's
and
really
how many games?
It's really tough because once again it's the first two teams to go back to back since 09-10, your Red Wings.
Yeah.
I saw a crazy thing. It was like for Wayne Gretzky's first cup, he won his first cup on the second of a back-to-back. Sidney Crosby won his first cup on the second of a back-to-back. So it's like, oh, does Mick Jesus finally get his cup? Fuck no, they don't. I got the Panthers going back to back. They play just a mean ass style. My only issue with the Panthers going into the playoffs was, okay, we haven't seen Kachuk since Four Nations. How healthy is he going to be? And they've been excellent. I think this is a series where Brad Marchand can just goober it up, because he had the Game 3 winner when they were down 0-2 against Toronto in the first round, and it's like, oh well, of course that's why they brought him in for June hockey, because he's just a playoff player. He's a goober. He's one of those where we have said it 1,000 times. When he's on your team and your line, you fucking love him. When you're going against him, you fucking hate him. And I have them winning 6.
You got them winning in 6?
Yeah.
So just like everything else on this show and previous episodes, you are wrong. The Oilers will win in 6. Draisaitl and McDavid are the best Canadian duo since the Hart Foundation. So McDavid's getting his first Stanley Cup. He is fucking awesome, and I hope he goes somewhere else after his Edmonton tenure. I hope he goes to a big market. But the Oilers get the revenge. It always happens. The Red Wings couldn't win back to back. They split. This one's going to be a split. You said Gretzky. You said Sidney Crosby. Who's next? It is
Jesus.
Connor McJesus. So he is going to win. And I am willing to make you a small gentleman's bet of $20 that they do win.
Just straight up, no games?
Yep. Straight up. Oilers over the Panthers.
I will virtually shake your hand and agree to this gentleman's bet. Virtually,
Yep.
Don't get it misconstrued. It's got to be on camera so it doesn't look like we're.
Yeah. We're not bro jobbing each other.
That's still. Hold on, real quick question, because we are 8 minutes over our hour. When's the last time you seen bro job, and does he still have the name?
I seen Brojob's brother within the last 2 weeks. I mean, he still lives down the street from because I'm back at my childhood home. After my mom passed, I moved back in with my dad to help him out. Their family still lives down the street. They're about 8 houses down. We drive past, and every time I'm like, I tell the Lex Express, I go, bro job. Pro job. We saw his mom riding her bike the other day, and we used to call her the golden retriever. But that's another story too. She was
Why?
because she had very long blonde hair, and she was an absolute bitch. So we called her the golden retriever just to
makes
undertone.
makes sense.
Yeah. So but yeah, $20. I got the Oilers over the Panthers. But yeah, we will be back on Monday. This is kind of a special episode. We couldn't. Lawson didn't pay his electric bill yesterday, so he didn't have power. So we had to, move to Saturday on a special time. But we're usually there. Actually, we had two special. We had Tuesday and Saturday this week, so it was all fucked up. But usually we're on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, 7:30 Eastern time, live on YouTube on the New Leaf News channel. Subscribe, like, check us out. We try to interact with the chat when we got one. So if you have anything to say, we might respond to you. Check out newleafnews.network.com. Both of them take you to the same great site. We have daily content, whether it's sports betting, horoscope, regular news, politics, whatever, gaming. We have a fabulous team of 6 fabulous writers over there, and we're growing by the day. Check us out on Instagram and X at New Leaf News. Check out my other show if you like podcasts at 64-Bit Legends. You can find it under the Pods and More section on newleafnews.network or wherever you can get podcasts or whatever they're called. We're at 64-Bit Legends on the gram, on X. Same with me at Bobby Kaboose, both on both platforms. New Leaf News is also on Facebook, so check us out there if you're a Mark Zuckerberg type guy. This is at Lawson _1226. It's crazy because his birthday is coming up. That's his number. So he's got that Amazon wish list that keeps growing by the day, and no one seems to be buying him anything. So let's fix that. Because you can tell by his room he doesn't have much, and he would love some Cleveland Browns apparel.
How to beat you where you stand.
He wants Shadur Sanders jerseys all over. Other than that, man, I think that takes care of the rest. And if you want to walk us out, we're good.
As always, for New Leaf News and the Legends Clubhouse, I'm Lawson Turner. That is Bobby Caboose. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back Monday morning sharp. Like we said, it was kind of a funky week. However, like I said, on Monday we will be back at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we will see you guys on Monday. We hope you enjoy your weekend, and we will see y'all later. Peace.